Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of 0 to 60. Now this is episode 5 on the 17T Turbo install, and it's just going to be a bit of a maintenance episode while I'm waiting for some parts. Sorry. But what we do need to do today, I want to get the new turbo studs fitted. There's no reason why I can't get them on today. I'm going to get all of these oil lines cleaned up, ready to go straight back on the new turbos, because I am reusing them and I have got to change O-rings on all of them as well. So I want to get them all cleaned. We'll get the new O-rings fitted today. Something that everyone has been warning me about is getting the new inlets fitted. So that is going to be another job that's going to happen in this video, assuming I can work out how to do it. And the last thing I want to try and knock off today, which is probably the thing I'll do first, is give everything a good clean. If you've been following along, this car, when I first got it, had some wicked oil leaks. And yeah, although I have degreased the block a couple of times, you're doing it from the top when everything's together, but this is going to be the only time I've actually got to get good access to everything. So I'm going to put the oil drain lines back in, because I don't want any degreaser running down into those. And yeah, I'll get this block cleaned up and get on with some more interesting stuff. Alrighty, let's get on with it. Yeah, so I'm just going to fit the oil drain hose back in the block. And it's just to stop any degreaser running down into the oil pan. I'm not going to go crazy with it. And I've just got a general purpose degreaser, I hope, which we will just give a light coating. And I've got a tray on the ground to try and catch it. So while that is all dripping down off the block, I'm going to give the oil line, the other oil lines, a clean as well. The block actually doesn't look much better, but this is what's dripping off the engine at the moment. So it must be cleaning it. Let's give everything a bit of a soak. Also, top tip for anyone using commercial grade degreasers, make sure you haven't got any cuts on your hand, because it makes them feel nice and warm. Well, the block definitely looks a bit cleaner, but it's not as clean as I'd like, but I don't want to make much more mess. And the amount of crap that's come out of it is crazy. Now, I did take the oil lines outside, gave them a full wash off and a clean out with brake clean. They all look pretty good. Yeah, I haven't got any concerns with any of these. The rubber is a little bit soft on the coolant lines, but it's not too bad. So fingers crossed we're going to be safe to reuse them. Now these are the O-rings I bought from FCP Euro. We've got 2 for the oil drains, which obviously the 2 bigger ones. And then we've got, I actually ordered 12 because I thought I was going to be reusing the coolant outlet lines. But yeah, so I'll get all these O-rings fitted onto these right now. I'm not actually going to put any oil on them today, because I'm not going to fit them today, but I will oil all of them before they get slotted into the new turbos. Anyway, let me go on with fitting those O-rings. Okay, so that's all the O-rings replaced, and I've checked all of the mating surfaces. The coolant lines did have a little bit of grime and crap still in there, which I just cleaned out with a pick. And as soon as I put the very first O-ring on, I realized I need to be using oil just to make sure the O-ring's going to seat and, well, basically sit properly on these fittings instead of doing any damage to the O-ring. Interestingly, the coolant O-rings are the worst condition ones. These are really dry. They're quite flat, pretty bad, but the O-rings that were on the oil lines, they're actually not too bad. They're not showing a lot of age. You can feel they're a little bit stiffer than they should be. And as I was checking all the mating services, the coolant feed lines which connect or slide into here, I'll try and get a better photo of that, but there is actually some corrosion where the O-rings seat in this housing piece. So what do you guys think? Should I do something about that? Should I try and smooth it off, or pack it with grease, or just hope for the best? Because I'm a little bit concerned about having a coolant leak. Anyway, with that done, while the car is up in the air, I'm going to get the manifold studs fitted. All pretty straightforward, so I'll get on with that. So you might be able to tell, but that is the end of that stud. So yeah, it actually broke off. I'm gonna put some penetrant lube on it straight away and then try putting 2 nuts on it. Hopefully I got the right size and see if we can pull it off with 2 nuts. That is the first one that was a bit tight. Yeah, a couple of the studs actually come out with the nuts, so I was a bit surprised that that just happened. I wasn't paying enough attention or else I would have felt it starting to break. Oh joy. Alright, so unfortunately I haven't got any nuts that are that size, apart from the copper ones that come off it originally. So trying to put 2 nuts on and get it off with like a ring spanner is not going to work. So I'm a bit stuck for ideas there. What do you guys think? Do you reckon I can get away with just reusing it? Obviously it's not coming out of the head, so as long as it's a solid point for the new copper nut to bolt onto, it should be okay. But please let me know in the comments if you think I can get away with just using that and not taking it out. If I'm going to need to take it out, I'll go and try and buy some of the correct size nuts, get 2 nuts on it and hopefully pry it out. As soon as that happened, I sort of started to panic and thought I'm going to have a bit of a nightmare here. Checked all of the other studs. They all cracked relatively easily apart from this one. So I soaked every nut straight away in WD-40. Sorry, every stud. And this one still did not want to come out. So I gave it a little bit of heat and it has come off nicely. I just used a blowtorch. So that one has cracked. So all of the other studs are cracked. I'm going to get them out and clean up the rest of the lovely head. So that is the rest of all the 15 studs out with that one that's left in there. I'm going to pull the old gaskets out, which I'll need my little hooky tool. And then I'm just going to give everything on the head a bit of a clean. And I'm not even going to fit the studs today because I'm a bit off it now that I've had that issue with the one staying in there. But I'll give it all a clean, have a think about what I'm going to do with this mother trucker, and then I'll get on to the inlets. So that's the head and where the gasket seats, the space where the gasket seats, all cleaned as well as I can. I've spent probably about 20 minutes on that, trying to get it as squeaky clean as possible. I can't get these black marks off. I don't know if they're carbon build-up or what, but every time I start trying to hack at them with a razor blade or a scraper, I feel like I'm just going to damage the head. I know that nothing seals on that flat surface. It's all down in this groove here, so maybe it's not important, but please let me know if I should get all of that black off. I went over it with a scourer, so it's all pretty smooth now. But yeah, that's the head done. All right, let's get it down and see if we can work out how to get these inlets swapped. Oh God. All right, so the car is down, and this is the front inlet that we're going to remove, and hopefully I can get the right camera angle on there, and you guys can see, but they're just held on with 2 T30 Torx bits, one there and one a bit further down, which actually I might have already moved the lower one. So once that's out, this one's going to come off pretty nice and easy. The rear one, however, probably not going to have so much fun with. So it's also held on with Torx bits, but they're a nightmare to get to, even between the firewall and the back. I'm going to use this lovely tool, which is actually a ratcheting Torx bit holder. It's actually pretty awesome for getting in really tight spaces. So I'm going to use that to undo the Torx bit, and then we'll see if we can get the rear one out. Oh, might start with the front one first. Oh, and the engine is significantly lower than it should be, so hopefully that's giving me a bit more room up the back. Oh, okay. So with that tool, I've managed to get it in there, and it's just loosening off. Oh, okay. So although it was quite tight with that, once it was about half a turn, I can just get it with my fingers. I hope that is the only screw that holds that back inlet in. That is super tight though. This tool only just fits between the between that Torx bit and the firewall. I'm not sure if my engine brace is pulling the engine back a little bit maybe, instead of pulling it forwards. Not ideal either way. Should make getting the oversized inlet in, extra fun. And she's nearly out. Okay, so I dropped it. And it still appears to be connected to something. It must have an, oh, it's got two. It has two Torx bits, okay. Let's try if we can get that one out. Okay, so I'm going to take the PCB vent tube off, or at least move it out of the way. Try to. See if that gives me better access to that top Torx bit, because it's bloody tight. I think it's going to. It has, yep. She's coming out. She's coming undone. Oh, okay, that screw is out, and the outlet is, or inlet is nice and loose. So I'm going to undo the other side of the PCV and see if we can pull it out without cutting it. Somebody mentioned I might have to cut the outlet to get it out. Let's hope that's not the case. Hey, okay, that's off. That was a pain. So, okay, that is actually pretty loose. But yeah, if it'll go that way. Nah, she's not coming off. I'm gonna have to cut it. Just so everyone can see what's going on. Hopefully the GoPro picks it up, lighting shit. But it's this right handle here on the hard plastic that won't squeeze up past the engine block. So I'm gonna have to cut it right here, and that should let me take it out the top. It's weird, I've let the engine, lowered the engine right down, but I think the way I've got it set up, it must be pulling the engine back a little bit. If I can see on the rear engine mounts, yeah, gearbox mounts. You guys might not be able to see, hopefully the GoPro adjusts. You can see these mounts are angled back a little bit. So the way I've got that bar set up on top is actually pushing the engine back, even though it's down. Anyway, enough rambling. Let me get this cut. Okay, so hopefully you can see that. That is the end of the inlet cut off nicely. All right, so I know the GoPro just cut off before. I've just switched the batteries, but let's see if this will come out. Now, something that is a bit of a extra little bit of an annoyance for this car is the fact I've got port injection, because it spaces the intake manifold out that 20 mil odd. It's still catching quite badly. Oh, well, hey. Oh, we're just getting tangled up, but we'll keep pulling it through the path that it wants to go. Damn you, that was a pain in the ass. They're obviously the two Torx bits mounts, which you have to get to over the back of the engine. But she's out. All right, awesome. Let's grab the new one. Kind of just throw them. Now, I'm going to start with the rear one. In fact, I'm getting a bit short of time to get this video uploaded today, so I might just get this one fitted. The front one is super easy, but the rear one, everyone says, is quite difficult. I'm going to... Oh, I've also got to find the box, which has all the fittings and stuff in it as well. But what I'm going to use as a lubricant, people use Vaseline, oil, all sorts. I'm just going to use tyre shine. Nice, thick, greasy tyre shine. Which we have here. It's cheap and plentiful. And actually I might use my mat to spray it on, because when you get tyre shine on the floor, it becomes a bit of a slipping hazard. So let's give everything a healthy... Wow. This will just fall into place, I reckon. Okay, so she's tyre shined. Let's get a little bit more down on that end. All right, I might put you guys on the tripod and we'll try and feed it into place. Okay, I'm gonna feed it in from the top, because why not? With the car on the hoist just a little bit too high. Oh, I don't want to touch the end. Ugh. Yeah, I think having this engine back a little bit definitely not doing me any favours. Gotta be careful, don't want to damage it. Hey, got some movement. It actually slid quite a long way then. Feels like I'm a bit low. What I might do is pop the car back up and have a look where we're sitting from underneath. All right, well hopefully you can see it. That's the hose right there. Now I'm about to test the quality of this Chinese silicone. If I can can't even get that up in there. Wow. Pull it down a bit. That is not loose. Let's put it that way. Not loose. Okay, that's sort of there. Now, oi! So we slipped out. Should probably stop using the hook now. Oh, that is ridiculous. That is, I can't believe it's meant to be like that. All right, so that one's through, although it's awfully tight. Let's go and put it up the top. Sorry, we'll go back up the top and see if we can position it up there a bit better so this is coming out in the right angle. Okay, so looking at it up from the top again. Hopefully you guys can see it going down there. And if we wiggle it that way, I think she is just about in place. It's going to sit just there for the pod. Nice. Okay, so that inlet's in place. I'm hoping that when the engine's back on the engine mount, it might give us a bit more wiggle room. Hopefully you can see that in the GoPro, but God, that is crazy tight down there. I can't believe that's how they work. So guys, rear inlet's in. That was going to be the challenge. I'm going to go and get this video edited because I shouldn't have any dramas doing the front, and I'll just try and catch any of the niggly little things. But to close this video off, let me know your thoughts on that stud that is still in the head. Should I risk putting some vice grips on it, heating it up and trying to remove it, which will damage the threads? Shall I go and try and get some threads from some nuts from somewhere just to unbolt it with 2 nuts, or should I just reuse it? I'm tempted to just reuse it because I want to get it done. It is 3:30 in the afternoon right now. I'll get this video edited, hopefully it'll be live by 5, and I'll do a few other little niggly bits tonight, but at 5 o'clock I should get the oil lines delivered that I'm waiting on, and I think we should be right to put the turbos on tomorrow, if we can sort that stud out. Anyway guys, look, thank you very much for following along. Thank you very much to everyone that comments, really appreciate it. It's friggin' awesome to see. As bad as this job is for my normally computer trained hands, I'm really enjoying it. There's always a challenge, but I think having the challenge is what makes it satisfying when you get it done. Anyway guys, enough of that. Thank you very much for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.